friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. So today is something different. We are not doing a curly hair video. I'm trying my attempts at doing a baking video for you. So we are going to be baking the world's best cinnamon rolls. That's what it says here. And the recipe is by Cook Like Lauren. I found it on Instagram and I thought this looks delicious. I never baked with a yeasted product or yeasted dough. So this is going to be a first time experience, which is why I chose to film it so you guys could see my reaction, my basic cluelessness, we'll say. And so we're just going to dive into this. I'm going to be talking my way through it, kind of, maybe narrating at some points. I'm not really sure yet, but let's get into this baking. Okay, I think we have all the ingredients here. I have obviously some granulated sugar, I have bread flour, salt, Kerrygold Irish butter, and the recipe is specifically called for this. And then I have more sugar. I have 2 packets of active yeast, an egg, a little bit more butter because I might be a little bit short of the Irish butter. And then in this bowl, I have some brown sugar, a cup of brown sugar, and I think 2 tablespoons of cinnamon already mixed up, cream cheese, whole milk, and heavy whipping cream. So let's get started mixing this up. Okay, at this point I am taking 2/3 cup of milk. I'm going to be heating it in the saucepan over medium-low heat. I'm trying to get between 100 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And so it doesn't take really very long for the milk to heat up, but I am trying to be careful not to overheat. I did get it closer probably to 120, 125 possibly. I pulled it off and then I put it into a glass bowl off on the other side of my counter. I think the reason why they don't want you to heat it up too high is because it might harm the yeast that I'll be mixing this with, but I added the yeast anyways, and I just took a whisk and tried to lightly break up the clumps. I'm really not sure if this is something I should have done or not. In the end, it really didn't seem to harm anything, but I just felt like I wanted all the yeast exposed to the warm milk, and that's what I was hoping to do in this. Then at the next point, then I'm using the same saucer and I'm trying to make the paste for the dough. And the directions call to mix 1/3 cup of whole milk and then a 1/2 cup of water and 1/3 cup of bread flour. And I'm just going to use my whisk and break up the clumps. And once again, heat this on about medium heat and it will thicken up to a paste. And so it's kind of neat how it does that. Okay guys, I apologize. I thought I was filming this, but I wasn't. I had originally the first milk that I warmed up and the dry active yeast in there. It wasn't really bubbling that much. I'm not sure if that's something I should be concerned about or not, but we're just pushing through. And I added 3 tablespoons of melted Kerrygold butter and an egg, also a 1/2 cup of sugar, and now I have this paste that I had warmed up. I'm left-handed, but I'm going to switch hands for you guys for your benefit and try to actually be able to get this all out. If you're left-handed, this is more difficult than it looks. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to mix it up on my KitchenAid here with the paddle attachment first, and then as it starts to come together more, I'm going to add some flour and then switch over to the dough hook. Okay, and as I'm mixing these ingredients up, they really don't come together that well in my opinion. I expected it to be something more like a cake or brownie batter where it all blends together, but this was not really cohesive at all until I started to add the flour. We're adding 3 2/3 cups. Oh, it says mix a cup at a time. Ooh, I guess I'm still supposed to have the paddle hook. Give me a second here, folks. Okay, I apologize if you could hear my clock chiming in the background. Actually, I know you could. Sorry for that distraction. But anyways, I'm just going to continue to mix. I add an additional 2 cups in this clip, and you'll see me add the last portion later. But let me know, do you prefer baking or cooking instead? I have always been more naturally inclined to baking. I just enjoy the process a little bit better. This is, as I've mentioned before, a new experience for me, baking with active yeast. I really wasn't sure what to expect, and so I was a little nervous, especially filming this, but I did want to just share my experience with you guys, so I hope you're enjoying this. Okay, this is the final 2/3. Okay, I'm trading out my paddle hook for the dough hook. I've never used this before, so it says to knead for 15 minutes. I don't know what speed that is. I'm gonna guess it's like a low speed, maybe. Okay, I actually paused this before it was even a minute in because I realized there was some of the stuff that wasn't incorporated in the bottom very well, some flour, dried out bits. So I just took my hands and tried to knead that in a little bit more, and now we will proceed with the kneading for 15 minutes. Okay, it's not quite been 15 minutes, but I feel like I might be burning up my engine here. So we're going to hope that that was enough kneading, and we're going to put this in a lightly greased bowl. Okay. Guess I'm not gonna work this too much more. Just gonna try to, I don't know, I'm trying to be like a bread maker and get a smooth surface on top. Not that that really matters, I don't think. I don't know. The directions don't say anything about that, but I feel like it looks better that way. So, okay. Now, this is going to prove for an hour. I'm going to put it in my oven. I've got it to about 100 degrees and turned it off. And I don't know, I think I'm going to cover this. I've always seen them cover it before. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, this has been sitting in the warm oven, not hot. Like I said, I turned it up to 100 degrees and turned it off. Put the dough in there, and this has been sitting in there for an hour. She's got a little firm top, but some good spring back. So I'm hoping, looks like my yeast might be working after all. Okay, I'm going to lightly flour my surface, and then I'm going to try to roll this dough out to a 24 by 15 measurements. I spread a little flour on the top just to make it so it's a rollable consistency, or it doesn't stick to my rolling pin. I'm going to kind of start shaping it like this, hoping that it will continue to grow like this. I got about 24, not quite, and ooh, I'm at 16, so we need to rein her in a little bit on the sides and send it just a little bit that way. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, now it says to take about 8 tablespoons of this well, it says 8 tablespoons. I'm just going to kind of see what this is going to take. I hope this does appear soft enough. I'm not measuring precisely. I'm just spreading. If I have any left over for the frosting, great. If not, I'll just use the other butter that I have. I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge, 1/2 inch to inch perimeter. I think that looks pretty evenly spread. And we're just going to take this and spread this all over the cinnamon and sugar. Once again, this is brown sugar. Seems like a lot. Directions say to tightly roll this. I'm not sure if it was better to go the other direction or not, but we're already starting this, so I'm giving a little pull back on that just to help try to make it a little bit tighter of a roll. And voila. This is not my mom's recipe, obviously, but my mom always used baker's twine to cut her rolls, so I'm going to try that as well. Just crossing that. Not bad. When I was making these cinnamon rolls, it just reminded me of days spent in the kitchen with my mom. That's a really big piece of my childhood that I just remember with fondness. My mom and I, we didn't always see eye to eye, but that was something that we always enjoyed doing, was baking together. She was great at creating recipes. She was great at just tweaking recipes that she already had. And I love to just be in the kitchen. I, of course, love to eat the treats that came afterwards. But just spending time with her in the kitchen, watching her mix and everything like that. I wasn't too active myself in doing this stuff most of the time, but time spent being there and talking with her while she was baking. Okay, I have 12 rolls here. I started out with just this pan, and then I realized the directions said to leave some space in between. So I realized I was going to need more room, and I just decided to go with more of a sheet pan. We'll see which one they bake up better in. Now at this point I have 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. It says just to pour over these, and I might do a little bit more because I don't know. We'll see how well this spreads. My heavy whipping cream might be a little chunky because, yeah, I'm going to need more. Okay, I've got more whipping cream. I was saying my heavy whipping cream might be a little bit chunky like that because it was in the back of my refrigerator and it got a little frozen back there. So, oops. I need to use it up anyways though, so we're just going to make sure these are all thoroughly covered. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, I pulled one of the racks out of my oven earlier, and now I'm just going to put these in here. It's set at 375, and we're going to bake these for about 18 to 20 minutes, it says. All right, the oven is screaming at me, and whew, she's hot. Let's see what these look like. They're just starting to get a little dark here on top, so they feel firm. I'm going to take them out. Okay, this is what they are looking like fresh out of the oven. I'm going to let them cool 15-20 minutes maybe, and then try to frost them. All right, we're going to be mixing up the frosting now at this point. I have a block of cream cheese. It actually calls for 6 ounces, but mine was far too soft and to try to cut out 2 ounces. So just 8 ounces cream cheese. I think it's like a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I probably put closer to a full teaspoon. There is also 5 1/3 tablespoons of butter. And so we are just going to cream this together, and then we are going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar, one at a time. I have my hand mixer here because I don't know what the condition is of my stand mixer. We're just gonna let that rest for till the next time I need to try to do something. But I thought for this little amount here, hand mixer would be best. Okay, it's a little lumpy. I'm sure if I would have sifted my powdered sugar, it wouldn't have been like that, but it's okay. Okay, so I thought I was filming like a first bite impressions for you guys, but my camera was not filming. So I apologize. I've already taken a bite of these delicious cinnamon rolls, but they are A in my book. I did have a sheet pan and like more of a casserole dish to like cook them in. And the sheet pan, the cream that I soaked them in, the sheet pan kind of caramelized that. It kind of ran off and caramelized a little bit more on the rolls. Now versus the casserole dish, it just kind of sat in there. And so it didn't get quite as done in the casserole dish. And the sheet pan almost got, not that the rolls were overdone, but like I said, there's just more of that caramelized stuff on there on the bottom that I had to kind of scrape off. But these are soft, even on the outside and obviously on the inside, and they are delicious. So good. Just the right amount of softness, not doughy, but just delicious. By the way, I'm taking pictures, so I'm not going to be eating both of these, just so you know. All right, I need to wrap this up. My husband's getting ready to come in, so I encourage you to check this out. If I'm smart enough, I'm going to figure out how to link this down below. Once again, check out Cook Like Lauren to find this recipe, and I totally recommend it. That's all I have for you today. Have a great day. Bye.